Welcome to the Fit Drivers Podcast, sponsored by 10th Street, connecting carriers and drivers to make life easier, pre and post-hire. From efficient and seamless recruiting to tools that keep drivers engaged and compliant and on the road. 10th Street helps you market, hire, retain, and grow. Learn more at 10thstreet.com.
Hi, Bob. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited to talk about Waypoint Vets and the things we have coming up with y'all.
All right, welcome everybody. Today's episode, of course, is brought to you by 10th Street, connecting carriers and drivers to make life easier pre and post hire. From efficiency to seamless recruiting tools to keep drivers engaged, compliant, and on the road. 10th Street helps you market, hire, retain, and grow. Learn more, go to 10thstreet.com. Well, listen, I'm very pleased today to have a real special guest on. If anybody out there, our listeners and new listeners, have not heard of Sarah Lee, then you're in for a real treat. Sarah Lee is a very special individual that, is really life after the military to really veterans. And so Sergeant Sarah Lee is an Army combat veteran and founder of Waypoint Vets. She enlisted at the young age of 17, served for 8 years, and was honorably discharged in 2009. At the age of 20, Sergeant Lee deployed to Iraq in 2004 for 12 months with the 216th Combat Engineer under the 1st Infantry Division, and with the 612th Combat Engineers to Panama, Central America in 2002. Sarah is a life member of AM Vets Post 1776 and VFW. And so also she's American Legion Post 880 and the Society of the 1st Infantry Division full patch member of both Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association. Wow. And there's so much more to learn about Sarah. So I'm going to just really kind of jump in here, and I'm going to have Sarah really tell a little bit about her story and how she came about with the emperor, really to come about finding Waypoint Vets and what really inspired her to do that. So Sarah, welcome, and thank you so much for coming on. And Fit Drivers podcasts are about trying to come up with solutions for drivers, and 10% of our CDL drivers out there are veterans. So this certainly fits into what we're trying to do to hopefully carriers that are listening and out there that are looking for ways to help come up with solutions for their drivers for a better health lifestyle out there. Hopefully this could be one for them. So Sarah, you're on. Tell us about the great Sarah Lee.
Yes. Oh gosh. Thank you so much for such a generous introduction, and just some of the things you were listing, that involvement, getting and staying involved with other veterans was something I didn't do when I got out, and it totally caught up with me. The lack of camaraderie and feeling heard and understood among my brothers and sisters. I didn't give that to myself when I got out. So, getting involved with all those entities really made a big difference for me over the last 5-6 years. So, but hello everyone. My name's Sarah, Sarah Lee. I'm an Army combat vet and founder of Waypoint Vets. So we facilitate therapeutic adventures for our brothers and sisters in beautiful landscapes throughout America, with a focus on being active, bonding, self-discovery, renewed sense of purpose, just things that we long for and don't know where to start sometimes, or it feels really daunting. Just kind of tapping back into parts of ourselves that we forgot about or thought were gone forever. That's kind of what we do at Waypoint, and we're all veterans, we're all volunteers, we're doing it because we want to. That continued service is life-giving for us. I think that was the missing piece for me. Serving again saved my life after getting out of the service. So I was in 8 years, and just my whole identity was wrapped up in being a soldier in the military. Nothing else made sense after that. And so just figuring out who you are after service is tricky. It's a very individual journey, and it can be defeating. It can be confusing, very frustrating. And it just takes almost like this perfect storm to kind of feel a reigniting of sort inside of you that gives you the hope. Like, I think a lack of hope, a lack of purpose is really what drives a lot of our issues, our suicide rate, certainly. which I definitely felt the sting of personally. After I did make an attempt, thankfully survived an attempt in 2017. So I woke up in several ways when that happened. I knew that there was nothing anyone could do to help me. I had to figure this out on my own. I ended up cycling cross country, a Hail Mary self supported journey cross country, and it ended up saving my life. So I took about 5.5 months, cycled from Yorktown, Virginia to San Francisco, and just the kindness I experienced, the veterans I ran into, the conversations. I had a whole family out there that I wasn't aware of or just lost sight of, and then to be immersed in the beautiful landscapes of this amazing country that we're in, that I would have given my life for, that my friends did give their lives for. I just felt so connected with them, and physically exerting myself in that way, it created that perfect storm that I didn't think existed. So that's what inspired me to start Waypoint Vets. It's a 501c3, all volunteer charity, and we take our brothers and sisters out on these pretty epic excursions, 4, 5, 6 day treks, a big variety of adventures for different ability levels. And it feels so rewarding to get back into that community, to reconnect. It helps me too. Like everybody grows together and through each other on these trips.
So, Sarah, tell me, how many veterans have you uh, serviced out there, have taken on some of these excursions and on some of these wonderful trips you've made for 4 and 5 days or weeks at a time? How many veterans have you been able to work with so far?
So far, we've served just about 400 veterans. We've been in existence for 6 years. We've been operational for under 5 years. So we've had the honor of serving almost 400 veterans now from 48 states. We almost have all 50, but no rush. And what's really eye opening is our waiting list. So we have over 360 veterans on our waiting list, and it's been
Wow.
word of mouth. So over the last year, we've brought on 22 new team members. They're all veterans who have been through our program and received something special, and really felt adamant about coming back to volunteer with us to create other opportunities for people, for our brothers and sisters, to get some of the same things they received. So it's like all in the family kind of thing. They know how it can feel. They're passionate about creating those opportunities. So we've expanded our staff now to 22, which is significant in
Wow.
its own. I'm just realizing. And to try to make a dent in that waiting list, we have 10 national adventures each year currently, and we're looking to double that over the next couple of years to try to offset this need, which is just significant need. I'm just grateful. I'm not the only one that this works for. I just it's just really cool that so many people are feeling this with me, and that it's impacting, it's making a positive dent in our struggles, our darkness, just all of these issues that it's hard to put words to some of these things, but so much can go unspoken on these trips with each other. So it's just a really cool atmosphere and environment, but very meaningful. I mean, and purposeful. It's very intentional, our programming. We have a mental health expert on every trip, professional guides, trained peer support staff. Like, we're equipped to tackle some of these things and figure out our next steps. It's not about talking about our worst days. It's figuring out who we are right now and where to go from there. So that's why it's called Waypoint, because that's where you go to get what you need in order to continue. So yeah.
So it's all about moving forward, correct?
Mhm. Very much so. Yeah. Or yeah, just
So
or collecting tools to help you do that. Yeah.
yeah. So tell me about your motto that you came up with about how to honor. There you
Yes.
go.
It came to me
So
on my
how did you
site.
come upon that? How did you come upon that? How did you come up with saying?
It came to me on my cycling trip, that it can be that simple. I knew I wasn't living a life worthy of my friend's sacrifice. I was isolating weeks, sometimes months at a time if I could get away with it. Just very unhealthy habits, just letting days pass. Just yeah, I just really struggled with wanting to be here, despite the love of my life, despite anything, and just lose sight so quickly. And it really came to me on the road. honor their sacrifice by living on their behalf, and we can honor them by pursuing the life that we would want for them if we hadn't made it back. And it's just such a great mindset and mentality. It's certainly some days are easier than others to maintain that mindset, but it's just such a powerful way to look at it. It's like this debt we can't repay, but by paying it forward, it's amazing what you can gain by giving.
Sure. So, interesting question I wanted to ask you. I was thinking about this earlier today. Um, of the, I think you said it's 300 some or 400 some veterans you've had out there. Do you recall how many of those veterans are maybe were drivers, truck drivers, or current drivers now?
It's very similar to your statistic, about 10%. It's like 10% of
Yeah.
drivers are vets, 10% of our veterans and veteranships are drivers. It's probably 10 to 15%. In fact, one of our team members drives for Walmart. She's very active in the
Ah,
transportation industry. We met at Women in Trucking. She's just absolutely
ah,
amazing. So
yeah.
it's just really cool. It's a small world. The transportation industry is so reminiscent of the military atmosphere, the camaraderie, God knows the humor. It's just like, I just felt like part of the family, even though I had no history in the transportation industry, just by recognizing that familiar feeling of that camaraderie from the military. So I can see how the industry is just such a great fit for veterans, but it is a very sedentary lifestyle. So, which is why I just love what you do. Just little tricks along the way, just little ways to be active. In such a sedentary day to day career as a driver.
Well, yeah, and one of the really reasons for my wanting to be involved with you, what you do, is because in my daily, weekly conversations with drivers and talking to them, so many of them are veterans, and
Mhm.
it's what you said a few minutes ago. They're out there driving, they're on the road, they're alone, and they're trying to work through it. And all of a sudden, they're out there. You get a lot of windshield time, which a lot of people, they always talk about truck drivers being like the last days of the cowboy out there, going across the country.
I can see
But for
that.
veterans, when they have a lot of that quiet time, unfortunately, things come back right into their memory bank, and they start thinking about the past. And a lot of times that's not a good thing, right? And they need people to talk to. And so it's great to be able to have you as an outlet for them to be involved and get involved with Waypoint Vets, because they do have a lot of that solitude time out there, which is bad, right? Because that's when things come back to haunt them that they're trying to bury.
Yeah, very true. Very true. It's driving is so therapeutic. I'm not a driver of an 18 wheeler, but I have 299,000 miles on my car, and I'm very excited to hit that 300 here in the next couple months. Driving is, as soon as I get home from anything, I take a drive of my car. It's just the movement. I think that the forward movement really helps with the processing, and it's almost like when you're stagnant or when you slow down, that's when everything catches up. So I think that the driving itself is just such a therapeutic tool. And then maybe just like with life on the road, just not interacting. It's like I didn't stay in touch with the veteran community, and I'm sure it's like that on the road
Right.
too. If you said just isolating, not reaching out. That's why I'm maybe just putting together a veteran community of drivers, or just them knowing resources they can call or reach out to in their downtime,
Right.
and maybe sign up for a couple things, have something to look forward to in some off time. And I know that off time is precious, like you want to spend every
Sure.
second with family and things too. But of course, like it's okay to make yourself the mission. I always say, like, if I'm not good to anyone, if I'm not good to go myself, so who knew that like the mission needed to be me? Like that's it. We just don't think like that. We're the last people on our list, but really the ripple effect and the effect it can have in your personal lives by working on yourself, it's pretty dramatic actually. It surprised me even when I started to feel a little better how what I projected into my relationships and into my life, and it was just a little bit more positive of an energy and attitude and whatever you'd like to call it. But I know my output was
Right.
just different when I was
Well,
actively kind of trying to work on myself a bit, which is not easy to do, but it has to be intentional.
yeah. Well, yeah, and so that's one of the other things. Speaking of that, is that why I got so heavily involved in the 22 for 22 because talking to a lot of the drivers that are veterans, and so the 22 for 22 average number of veterans that commit suicide a day, it really started some time ago, and it really kind of faded to the wayside. And then it became popular a few years back, mainly because it got on social media and a lot of the celebrities got behind it. But it really turned into be more of a self-promoting type thing of people doing it, and really got away from the meaning. The idea behind it was is to bring awareness and to help raise money for organizations such as yours, because at the end of the day, it's about helping companies like yours be in existence. So when those drivers need to talk to somebody or a veteran, they make a call, they have somebody to talk to, right? So I decided, I don't know, 6 years or so ago to rename it, keep pushing. And much like yours, it's about moving ahead, right? Keep pushing and keep moving ahead, 22. And so, which leads me into having our discussion. I'm really proud and excited to be involved. And you can just talk a little bit about what we have coming up, right? That people can get involved in on this Miles for Veterans that we're doing, this virtual walk that we're going to kick off. And so, let's talk about that, Sarah.
Yes, we're so excited. We're partnering with Fit Drivers Rolling Strong, that the Rolling Strong platform. It's so immersive and interactive too. Like the platform itself is just so cool. And I'm a human kitten, and it's just something that would like keep the attention and keep it exciting. Because as you log your miles, you can see all the things. But basically, it's a 2,200 mile virtual walkathon along Route 66. So it starts in Chicago at the sign, and it goes clear over the Santa Monica Pier. And along the way, in each state, there's two key waypoints and points of interest. So that will honor veterans, honor the trucking industry, and it just really ties the two worlds together in a way that promotes activity and well-being. So it
Sure.
just makes it fun to be active rather than just something that's super repetitive. Because when you hit these waypoints, it triggers like an email to send out with information about that waypoint that you've now reached just by logging your steps virtually, or your miles virtually. So along the way, you'll get little like updates on your own progress with information. So it's just, and then all of the fundraise. So when you sign up, there's a registration fee, and then any donation on top of that comes directly to Waypoint Vets. And so you're able to sponsor also a waypoint itself and become a point of interest along the way to highlight your company, your entity, to let them know your support for veterans too. And like I was saying earlier, because it is all volunteer, every penny of that goes directly to our programming. It goes directly to our trips and the veterans we serve. So it just really feels good. I mean, just by signing up, you're directly impacting a veteran positively through our mission. Like it's very cool. Like we're really coming together to make this happen. Like it's all so connected. So it's just cool to be part of something is helping. So I always tell people like this is directly bettering a veteran's life, enriching their lives. So
Exactly.
it is exciting. Yeah.
And it's a way to, for people, like I said, to get active and be
Yeah.
active. And so we're we're very lucky. We have 10th Street is a premier sponsor, enrollment first, and so we're searching for other companies to join us, right? So we hope we encourage more companies to get behind it and donate what they feel they can to help move this forward. And it resonates, right? If the company gets behind it, that trickles down to the company's employees to get behind it. It's a way for them, because a lot of times people don't want to talk about what they have going on in their own personal life, right? But here's a way they can get involved and work and network with other people and meet other people that maybe the same common issues that they may have. So it's a way to get involved. So we really are encouraging more of the carriers and more of the community to get behind this. And I know we've been having some pretty success of people signed up so far. So we're hoping that we'll really get kicked off here and hit our goal that we were looking to raise at the end of it, right? So we can move Waypoint forward even more. and do some other bigger and greater things in the future. So, well, Sarah, I can't thank you enough for coming on. This was great and a lot of good information. And I'm gonna, as soon as the producer edits this, we'll get it out, get it posted. I'll let you know, and we'll keep promoting. And we need to get more people. So, for those listening, where can they go to sign up and get involved? What's the website they can go to?
Yeah, rollingstrong.com. There's you'll be able to find where to sign up for the virtual walkathon. For more info on our mission, if you want to check it out before you get involved, please do waypointvets.org. And if we do hit our goal, we'll be able to add 2 entire adventures that will serve up to 20
Wow.
veterans on each. So it is really exciting. I definitely we're hopeful because it is really cool. Like this entire thing
Yeah.
is just really cool to be part of the actual walkathon itself. So yeah, you got to make it fun. Really, with
Yeah,
time
and
is
so
precious.
for me, it's always about saving a driver's livelihood because this is what they do, right? This is the only thing they know how to do, and so I always say that every driver counts or no one counts, and same for you, right? So because the next veteran you save could be your next you could be saving, right? We know we always need more drivers, so it's a way for everybody to get behind. So we'll put that web site up when we close out the show and put that up and hopefully drive some more people our way and get behind it. But thank you, Sarah. You're a real
Thank
gem.
you. Thank you both. So thanks for moving it to today too. That was so thoughtful. I was excited we could do it. Thanks for the opportunity.
Right on.
Seriously, Bob.
You bet.
Really, thanks
All
for
right.
all you
Thank you so
do.
much. My
Okay.
pleasure. Only Prepass provides way station, bypass, and integrated electronic toll payment services. Visit prepass.com for details.